Good morning. Welcome to the channel, Retired Don't Give Up. Today's video is going to be a technical video. My intention is to connect my DJI controller onto my handlebars so I can control my drone when it follows behind me. Also, we're going to show you how we install and the operation of the throttle lock. I believe will be somewhat important with the operation of the controller. So come along and let's see how this works out. I purchased this little bracket off Lazada. What it does is attach to the back of the controller, somewhat like that. And then it will then attach onto that. Fully adjustable, which we will then attach onto here. Let's see how it works. Part of the problem with this particular bracket, I went on YouTube and watched several videos of different ways of attaching the bracket onto the handlebars, and apparently this one will put quite a strain on the two screw holes. There's not much that for it to sit on, so there's a lot of strain on those screws and they end up with fractures. I've ordered, there is a much superior bracket that a gentleman made in the States, and it's aluminum, and it basically bolts onto here and goes there. I'm going to show you the picture of that. It's only available on Amazon America, not Amazon Canada, and obviously could not find it on Lazada. Now there are several different, like I say, I watched several videos where they use it for helmets, it sticks onto the helmet and so forth, and all kinds of different ideas that that people come up with so that we can put these on. Mostly they put them on their bicycles, and that's sort of my concern, that they put them on the bicycles, and of course the bicycles have a lot more bounce going through the bush and so forth. Hopefully the suspension on the motorcycle will be a little bit better, and it will suffice. Now this bracket, and I'll show you this bracket. This bracket, my friend has ordered it in Canada. He's got it already, and he's going to actually send it from Canada to here in Thailand, which could take about a month. In the meantime, we're going to use this, and we're going to see how this works. And if it works for a little bit, you know, if it works sufficient, we're going to go out and try it, and hopefully it will give us the results that we're looking for. Here are the screws. The screws are actual thumb screws, which does make it somewhat easier to take off and put on. My big fingers. There's slots in the bracket so that you can adjust it back and forth. But I suppose one of the things you must make sure that because it's a thumb tighten, you have to tighten it with a thumb. You want to make sure that that it is definitely tight. The last thing you want is your controller. There we go. Not much. Okay. Question is, are you putting the cart before the horse? Well, that's on there. Well, the phone is beside the controller. The controller's there, and I can still see the speedometer. All in all, not bad. Again, one of the problems is I'm right-handed. And if I was left-handed, of course, you're controlling the throttle with your right hand. Your left hand has use. Now, so reaching over, for the most part, I can control my up and down and so forth with my left hand while I'm riding. But the main idea is we can set the follow with the controller, and it will actually follow the motorcycle. For the most part, shouldn't have to touch anything. But if you do, what I have over here is I've installed a throttle lock. And I'm going to take it apart, show you what it looks like, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to install. It's a pretty simple affair. How it basically works is once it's on, it has a button on the top and a button on the bottom. A button that says, it has a Y for yes. Push the button down and it holds it in place. Turn it off, fine. You have your throttle on, push the button in, the throttle stays in place. The good news about that, depending on what I'm doing, and of course you don't want to be going around curves and so forth, you got to be able to keep your eyes on the road and still drive safely. If for some reason I need to adjust with my right hand instead of my left hand, I can put the throttle lock on, do the adjustments as required, and then turn off the throttle lock and carry on. So I'm going to show you how this is installed. Pretty straightforward, and we'll go from there. So there is a screw right here, and that's what tightens it up. So I'm just going to undo it. Very straightforward, very simple. Now, again, got this off Lasada. And again, it showed up, and there was 0 instructions. I had no idea how to install this. You have to stare at it and stare at it and stare at it, and and use your common sense. But here it is. 2 pieces, screw, Allen key. That's all it came. And you slip this over the throttle, and there's some just little cogs, little barbs where that will grab onto. And then of course you tighten it up, and these parts here tighten up around the actual throttle housing. So we are talking really simple. Now on the back here, how this works is when you push this button here, it pushes this bar, basically pushes the bar in. Now what we have is a nylon guard or block, and this is attached onto the side to create a friction on the housing. Let me show you how it goes back on, and I'll show you how it works. So you can see the throttle and the housing that it's on, it goes up against. So basically you take this and you take your housing and it just sort of clicks into those barbs. And then take your Allen key and tighten it up. Because you want to find the sweet spot of where this is, because part of the problem is you got to be able to reach underneath and push the start button. So that that's somewhat important. So just adjust it enough so your thumb, just adjust it enough so that your thumb will clear that. Once you get it where you want, tighten it up at the bottom, take your Allen key, and then tighten the screw from the top. It is very finicky. It is a pain in the butt. Again, no instructions, so I'm assuming that I am doing it correctly. I've used it quite a bit, so yes, it is installed correctly. So there we go. All right, snug it up so it's not going to move on you. You can just barely see the little nylon pad that is just inside. When you set your throttle to where you want, reach up with your thumb, push the on button, and it will stay in place. And again, to disconnect, no. When you're riding and you have it locked, remember, this is just a throttle lock. It's not. Unfortunately, the battery in my microphone died, so I'll try to fill in what I'm trying to say. Again, this is a throttle lock. It's not a cruise control like in a car. So when you're riding down the road, if the road goes up or goes down, of course, the speed is going to adjust accordingly. You can make minor adjustments, and it will then, keep the speed that you're going. But like I say, it's a throttle lock, not a cruise control. At any rate, what we're going to do now is we're going to take the little trip out with the drone, and we're going to see how it's going to perform behind the motorcycle. Let's go. So I'm heading out to our little side road here to try this out and see how it works. Fairly quiet road, fairly straight road, with not a lot of overhead, obstacles other than that tree that you see right there. All right, get ready. Okay.
Takeoff. Home point updated.
Yep, there it is right behind me. You could just see in the camera. Now, in the bright sun, can't see a darn thing. I can't see anything. I can't see anything. I have no idea if this is even going to work. Absolute failure.
Landing.
Well, that attempt was a complete failure. So I went back to the house, disconnected the controller from the motorcycle. I did a little bit of more research on YouTube. Then I decided to have the drone follow me around in the yard. And as you can see, it's doing just fine. Here I stop, I turn around, and it stops and it follows me back. So we're going to go out and we're going to try it again and see if we get it to work this time. Well, let's see what it does. I'm not 100% sure. Now it's going up, maybe going up too high. And let's give it a try. For those that are going to give me grief about not wearing my helmet, I'm on a side road and I'm trying to get this shot and see how this works. Nah, this is too dark, so we're just going to go without it, and let's see if we're going to follow along. You can see the drone is behind me, and I'm going to well, I'm not going very fast. I'm only doing 19-20 kilometers per hour, and the drone is following behind me like I want. Now it's in normal mode, which means it's not going to go as fast as if I put it in sport mode. But, like I say, we're now going down this road, and it is following me. Now, there's a branch up ahead. I'm assuming it's going to go under it or around it. We'll see what it does. Hopefully it doesn't hit it. It just went under it. That's a scary thought. Oh, it is no longer. I'm now back under the drone. And I'm trying to get it to connect again. It's well, for some reason my main camera stopped recording, whether I forgot to push the button or not. I was so consumed with trying to get this to work properly. Anyway, we're off one more time, and as you can see, there's trees in my way, but it manages to avoid those, and we're coming up to a corner, and I'm going to make a left-hand turn, and you'll see again there's a post, and well, just went around it. So again, the problem is with this feature, you want to make sure that you can rely on it and you can maintain your concentration on driving the motorcycle, because of course safety is the priority. So again, it's following along fine. It's off to the right. I'm not sure why it's off to the right, because it's set to go. There's more branches. It goes around the branches. So far, it's following along just fine. But at this point, it's about to stop, and I don't know why. Just for no reason whatsoever, it decided it wasn't going to follow. So I pull over, and again, this time I manually adjust the drone and bring it closer and bring it up closer to me, and then I reset it one more time to follow one more time. Again, the technology, well, the technology is there, but again, safety is more the concern when you're riding the motorcycle. So if you're going to use this feature to add to your camera work, you got to make sure that you're in the right spot. Here it is falling around a tree because it stopped. It's supposed to follow behind, but it's kind of lost. It's got me in its focus, and again, I'm staring at it. I have no idea why it's doing what it's doing. So I'm pulling ahead, and again, it's in front of me when it should be behind. It is staying in front, as you can see. It's moving. I mean, there's certainly nothing wrong with that if that's a shot that you want, except it's not set up to do this. So again, maybe the problem is I'm 65 years old, and if I was in my younger 30s, I'd be able to figure all this out much easier. It really is a concern, and and as you can see now, it's falling around. I'm trying to see where it's going to go. And I'm very quickly frustrated, and I'm decided that this just isn't going to work. We'll try it. Yeah, it just hit something, and then it now stuck behind a tree. So at this point, I've decided, you know what? Again, second time out, a little more successful, but the technology is there, but you really need to make sure you're in an area where you can use this feature safely. Well, that's it for now. Rather lengthy video showing the installation of the controller and the very poor operation of the following feature of the drone. We didn't use the throttle lock. It wasn't required at the time. But until next time, bye for now. And remember, don't give up.